edition.
What's going on, everybody? So today we're going to do a little bit of a cooking video. Got a request. A friend of mine wanted me to do some food prep and show how I do my lunches and dinners and stuff like that. So I'm going to walk you through a pretty basic and easy meal that I use quite frequently, and you can modify it and do whatever you want. I'm just going to show you how I do it. So here's what we need. We got it all laid out here. We got some rice, we got some peas, we got some extra lean ground turkey, a little bit of seasonings, and some stuff like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to cook all this up, and I'm going to put it into Tupperware bowls and stuff like that, and I will show you how I do it along the way. Okay, so we're going to cook up the ground turkey right now. I'm going to throw this all in the pan and get it started. Kind of walk you through all that. Basically, we have 20 ounces of ground turkey here. This is 99% lean. I typically do 99% lean because, well, frankly, I like it and it keeps my saturated fats down. You can do 93 if you want, that's fine, makes no difference. So we throw this here in the pan, get the heat going, and then start just kind of chopping it up. Now you want to chop that up kind of rough. It doesn't really make much of a difference as far as how you do it when it's still kind of cold and wet. Once it starts drying out, like getting cooked and everything, you want to break it up. So just basically like that, no big deal. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to come over and grab whatever seasoning you like. None, some, doesn't really make any difference. I use a little Cajun seasoning blend. It adds a nice little kick and makes me happy, so I use that. Just take that and be kind of generous with it if you want. Makes no difference. And basically set that up till it's browning. Now we're going to cook that until it's good and brown, gray. It's turkey after all. And there's another little step in the middle to kind of keep it from getting too dry that I'll show you. That's going to involve the Parquet 0 calorie spray. You'll love this. It works really, really well, and it's kind of a nice thing to do. So once I get to that point, I'll show you all that. Okay, so while the meat's cooking, we're going to prep the peas. And this is pretty simple. It's hot water, peas, throw it on the stove on a low heat and just kind of let them warm up. There's nothing really to it, no specialty, nothing like that. I use a 2-pound bag because I use 2 servings per for 5 days, so 10 servings. Just open the bag, dump said peas into pan, fill with hot water. Till about right there, and then throw it on the stove. Okay, so we're going to prep the rice up now. I use white rice and brown rice. There's a reason for that. If I eat a lot of brown rice, I get kind of, I don't know, bloated feeling. It's too much fiber. If I eat a lot of white rice, I don't feel as full, so I kind of split them. You can do that if you want. You don't have to. It's just the way I like to do it, so pick and choose what you like out of this recipe. This is just how I prefer to do it. So, that being said, large pan, 4 cups of water and a half. Dump this in here. Now a little trick to this is you need a little bit of oil in there. Now, most people use canola oil or something stupid like that. I do not. I use olive oil. Why? Because I can, and olive oil is not bad for you. So, a little bit of olive oil. Don't have to measure it, just a tiny bit, a little bit. Now we're going to throw this on the stove, and we're going to bring the water to a boil. Once the water comes to a boil, you basically just dump the rice in and then immediately cover it and put it on simmer and let it set for about 5 minutes or so. Make sure you stir it in between. If you don't, you are going to have hard rice. It won't cook evenly and it'll suck. So make sure you stir it at least once or twice in between, and After about 5 minutes, you can take it off heat and just set it to the side. It'll continue to absorb the water, and it's a little bit better that you do. Don't uncover it until you're ready to basically divvy it out into your Tupperware. Alright, so there's our water for our rice. And it's not quite to a boil, but that's actually about perfect. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and dump this in. There you go. And I use wooden spoons. Wooden spoons, it doesn't stick. Just stir that in like so. And then drop your heat way back. Throw a cover on. Okay, so the turkey is getting pretty browned, gray. At this point, what you're going to want to do is you're going to take this stuff. It is a basically 0-calorie butter spray. You just take it and you kind of lightly mist it. And like I said, it's 0 calories, so it doesn't really matter. And you just mist it over, and that'll give it a little bit of moisture to work with, and it won't dry out as bad. It also allows the seasoning that we put on earlier to kind of get in the meat a little bit. At least my experience so far, that's what it's done. Whoa. Anyway, so that's what I do for the meat. Once that's good and cooked, I'm going to let it cool off. Throw it in the Tupperware bowls. Alright everybody, well, we now have everything cooked up. We got the meat, the peas, and the rice all ready to go. So we're going to start divvying it out into our Tupperware and adding the sauce and stuff like that. As you can see, we got meat, peas, and rice. Got ourselves a little Tupperware bowl here and our trusty scale. I've already got all this weighed out in bulk, so I know what it's going to be when I actually separate it out. Wrote down, ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and show you guys what I'm doing and kind of the steps in between and a few little tips and stuff like that. It'll make it actually a little bit better when you go to reheat it and eat it. Our Tupperware on a scale. Now we're going to start with rice. The reason we start with the rice is that's actually the biggest of the items, and it is also something you need to make sure is actually separated out, because if it isn't, it'll clump up and get real hard, and then when you reheat it, it isn't as good. So I'm going to show you how to avoid all that. This comes out to 282 grams. You don't have to get this perfect. I just do this for portions so that it comes out fairly even, and I'm not getting a buttload of rice in one thing and not enough in the other. So there we go. That's about 281, pretty close. What we're going to do is got ourselves a handy dandy little half a cup here, and that is the exact serving for the marinade sauce I use. You can use whatever you want. This is just what I use to give it some moisture, flavoring, and make it so it's not so boring. It tastes really good. That's why I use it, and it's cheap. So now that I got the rice actually divvied out into the container, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up a half a cup, dump that in there, and then stir it and actually get it so that the rice is good and coated, and that'll keep it from clumping and getting all hard and stuff like that. And this will take about 2 bottles almost to do all 5, but nice half a cup. Doesn't have to be perfect. Throw that in, and then take yourself a spoon or whatever, just give it a good stir, and try to get it as stirred up as possible, because the better you get it, the better off you'll be when you reheat this. Pretty much just like that, nothing to it. Now we're going to set this back on the scale, and we'll add the meat next, which is 84 grams. Yes, I'm using my bare hands. Yes, they're clean. Close enough, 86. Now, if you really want to be anal retentive about it and you got to have it perfect, that's fine. That's up to you. I'm not. 181 grams of peas. And there it is, perfect. Now you can take this and you can stir this up if you want. It doesn't truly matter at this point. Once you've got the rice stirred up, you're pretty well good. But I like to give them a stir every once in a while. It just kind of helps. And there you have it. You'll throw a lid on that, put that in the fridge, and she'll be good for the next 5 days. And that's basically how you do a week's worth of meals and do your food prep. That's how I've been doing it for a while now. I don't always do the exact same meals, although I have been doing this for a while because it only takes about an hour to make. And let's face it, food prep kind of sucks sometimes, and I'm lazy. I hope this has been informative. I hope you enjoy this. If you did, you know what to do, the like, subscribe button, all that good jazz. And as always, until next time.
I mean, my heart's beating, my hands are shaking, but I'm still shooting.